What Hearts of Iron 4 DLCs do you actually need? Right now, if you buy all the major DLCs, so expansions and country packs, you pay about $175. It's an insane amount of money for a single game, and nobody should just blindly buy all of them. I'm going to start with the expansions that add features and focus trees, then move on to the country packs, and at the end I'll briefly talk about the DLC subscription and mods. Let's start with the newest expansion, No Compromise, No Surrender. No Compromise, No Surrender costs $29.99 and released on November 20th, 2025. It adds new focus trees for the Philippines, Communist China, Nationalist China, as well as an alternative history path for Japan. On top of that, it adds new land doctrines, a new faction system, and a navy rework. On Steam, it currently has 38% positive reviews and is rated mostly negative. Most of the negative reviews complain about the price because it is the most expensive Hearts of Iron 4 DLC ever. I recommend this DLC only if you really like to play in Asia or if you like naval gameplay. If that's not you, I don't think it's worth the price. Next we have Götterdämmerung. Götterdämmerung costs $24.99 and released on November 14th, 2024. It adds new focus trees for Austria and Belgium, an alternative history path for Germany, as well as a new Hungary focus tree. It also adds the Belgian Congo as a new nation with its own focus tree. As a disclaimer, the old Hungary tree is now in the base game, and the alternative history tree for Germany is also still there. Götterdämmerung also adds special projects, raids, landmarks, and a new nuke and rocket system. On Steam it has 72% positive reviews and is rated mostly positive. Most of the negative reviews were written on release and focused on bugs, and some people complained about Belgium and Belgium Congo focus trees. Since it is the second most positively reviewed expansion, I generally recommend it, especially if you like to play Germany and Austria. But keep in mind, it's also the second most expensive DLC, right after No Compromise, No Surrender. Next is Arms Against Tyranny. Arms Against Tyranny cost $19.99 and released on October 10th, 2023. This DLC focuses on the Nordic countries. It adds focus trees for Norway, Denmark and Sweden, a smaller tree for Iceland, and an alternative history path for Finland. For new mechanics, it adds the international market where you can buy and sell equipment between nations, and it also adds special forces doctrines and military industrial organizations. On Steam it has 56% positive reviews and a mixed rating. Most of the negative reviews focus on the mediocre focus trees and on the military industrial organizations, which many people feel just adds extra unnecessary micro. Because of that, I would only recommend this DLC if you really love the Nordic countries. Otherwise, it's a very easy skip. Next expansion is By Blood Alone. By Blood Alone released on September 27, 2022 and also cost $19.99. It adds new focus trees for Switzerland and Ethiopia, as well as an alternative history path for Italy. It also adds the aircraft designer, unit medals, embargoes on other nations, and extra peaceful options like demilitarizing states or dismantling military factories. By Blood Alone has 38% positive reviews and is rated mostly negative. Negative reviews mainly focus on the high price, on bugs, and on the new Peace Deal conference system. The core of the Peace Deal conference system is in the base game, and the DLC only adds some small extra options which a lot of people think isn't worth it. Personally, I like this DLC because Ethiopia is a real challenge, the aircraft designer is fun, and the alternative Italian paths are interesting. But the Switzerland tree is kind of confusing, the peace conference changes are just not enough to justify the price. For that reason, I don't recommend this DLC unless you really like Ethiopia, the aircraft designer, or the alternative Italy path. Next, we have No Step Back. No Step Back costs $19.99, released on November 23rd, 2021. This is the most positive reviewed major DLC for the game. It adds focus trees for all the Baltic nations, a much more detailed Poland, and multiple alternative history paths for the Soviet Union, like fascism, monarchism, and the right opposition to Stalin. For features, it adds the Army Officer Corps, tank designer, railway guns, army spirits, scorched earth mechanics, floating harbors for naval invasions, and special supply units for the logistics system. No Step Back has 75% positive reviews and a mostly positive rating. Negative reviews mostly focus on a new supply system, which was added to the base game in a free patch, and on performance issues from the time. Because of the amount and quality of what it adds, I recommend this DLC to basically everyone. The tank designer, the Soviet alternative history content, the Army Officer Corps and Army Spirits are all very strong additions to the game. The oldest still available major expansion is La Résistance. La Résistance released on February 25th, 2020 and cost $19.99. It adds new focus trees for Spain and Portugal, an alternative history tree for France, as well as the espionage system, armored cars, and recon planes. The big problem is that the espionage system is used by almost no one. Armored cars and recon planes are also not very important for most players. The Portugal and Spain trees are not the best, and the France alternative history content has aged quite a bit. La Résistance has 44% positive reviews and a mixed rating. The negative reviews mainly talk about the bad spy system and the high price for what feels like a mediocre amount of content. Because of that, I don't recommend this DLC at full price. Most of the features are irrelevant today, the focus trees are old, and the price is simply too high. And that was the last major expansion. Now let's talk about country packs. As the name suggests, these do not add new mechanics, they only add focus trees. Graveyard of Empires released on March 4th, 2025 and cost $14.99. It adds focus trees for Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, and as well as a new India focus tree. But the old India focus tree was moved to the base game. Graveyard of Empires has 15% positive reviews and an overwhelmingly negative rating, which makes it by far the worst rated DLC ever. The negative reviews criticize basically everything, from the price, the word focus trees, a huge amount of bugs, especially around release, and the fact that it's just kinda boring. I strongly recommend that you do not buy this DLC, there's really not much else to say. Next country pack is Trial of Allegiance. Trial of Allegiance, released on March 7th, 2024, costs $14.99 and focuses on South America. It has focus trees for Brazil, Argentina, and Chile, and smaller trees for Paraguay and Uruguay. It has 37% positive reviews and a mostly negative rating. Most people complain about the high price and the fact that South America just doesn't really play a big role in World War II, so the content feels very niche. I don't recommend this DLC either, because there are 3 mods that add way more and better South America content. The last and oldest country pack you can buy is Battle for the Bosporus. Battle for the Bosporus released on October 15th, 2020 and cost $9.99. It adds focus trees for Greece, Turkey and Bulgaria. It has 46% positive reviews and a mixed rating. The negative reviews mainly focus on a very confusing and not very fun Turkish focus tree, and on the fact that these trees give a lot of debuffs to nations, making them weaker and less fun. But I do consider the Greek and Bulgarian focus trees okay, especially if the pack is discounted. Like the other country packs, I would only recommend Battle for the Bosporus if you know that you specifically want to play these nations. But there's one more thing to mention, the DLC subscription. The Hearts of Iron 4 DLC subscription costs $7.99 per month or $14.99 every 3 months. It gives you access to all the DLCs, including the music packs and unit packs that I did not talk about in this video. If you just want to try out all the DLCs for a short time, this can actually be a really good option. But if you plan to play the game for hundreds of hours, it's usually better just buy a few DLCs that are actually worth it. And finally, if you watched all of this and realize that you don't want to spend money on these DLCs at all, you can also just use mods. Hearts of Iron 4 has a huge modding scene with things like Road to 56 and many others that are total conversions that basically rework the entire world. They often offer more content than the official DLCs, and that for free. I only scratched the surface in this video. If you want to see a deeper dive into these DLCs, including music and unit packs, and when a subscription is worth it, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.